Good evening, people. I did say that we might be doing some spontaneous shows, some special shows this week, but I didn't predict, or I didn't know, or I didn't think that we're going to be here about 12 hours later, or I think it's around about 24 hours later. It's even about 12 hours since the Salah news broke. But with me is Lewis, the brilliant Lewis Steele. Lewis, the amount of shows that you have done today on Egyptian outlets, I thought we might be doing this in Egyptian dialect. So do you want to start the show in Arabic?
I wish I could, mate. Honestly, today has just been mental. It's like the Wi-Fi has been playing up for me as well. As you know, we were talking off mic, trying to get me on air for about 10 minutes just. And it was almost like it was almost like my router was saying to me, like, come on, man, take a break. Because it's
Lewis, it
just
sounds
been
like you're about
relentless
30.
since about 7 a.m. this morning when I woke up. Obviously, I knew we had that Salah embargo. I was very careful not to say anything.
Yeah, it's been an eventful 12 hours or
Yeah,
so, but
what's that, mate?
it's been absolutely mad. But I have to tell the viewers that Lewis is currently traveling, walking through the desert of Cairo, or maybe that's why he's got some sound issues. But please bear with us. There is a lag as well. That's why we're about 10-15 minutes late. But the reason why Lewis is here, he wants to share all his opinions and insights as to what happened exactly on that mix zone. And if we do lose Lewis, we'll keep on trying, keep coming back into the studio. But smash a like on the way in. If you're going to get involved in the chat, then please do. But please bear with us. There is a lag, but I'm sure we'll ask all the right questions to Lewis, and I'm sure he'll provide the answers tonight. Lewis, take me back to Sunday evening when Salah came out that door and pointed at you, because he normally doesn't hamper, does it? He's the last time he talked to you guys and stopped was around about, I think, 3-4 years ago. He's only stopped 3 times since he's been here, including yesterday. But like you said today in one of your interviews, he normally says, next time, lads, have you got a couple of minutes, Mohammed? But he doesn't do it because he doesn't want to talk to you, or he's up himself. He's not an arrogant person. He's an unbelievable human being on and off the pitch. Very, very respectful as well. But you must have been thinking when he was walking towards you, actually wanting to do an interview with you, that something big is unfolding right before me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we stand in mix zones. I say we, as in me and the other reporters, for about half of our lives, it seems, just, sitting there, or well, standing there, waiting for someone to speak to. And normally no one comes, or maybe Virgil van Dijk will pop down, but he won't have too much to say in terms of, headline grabbing news like Mo did yesterday. And the thing about the mix zone at Southampton is it's outside. So it was raining. It was horrible, windy weather. And, to be brutally honest, I was stood there thinking, I'm going to give this 2 more minutes and then I'm making a dash because it's a long way home and I don't want to be getting home at midnight sort of thing. But luckily, stuck out 2 more minutes. Mo came out the door and he walked towards us, and obviously we didn't have time to speak about it, but we were all thinking and saying, like, what's going on here? Because this is not normal. Mo Salah doesn't speak to us. He hasn't spoken to us since the 2019 Champions League final, over 5 years ago. So you knew in that moment there was a big story unfolding. And there was a couple of questions sort of warming him up. To be honest, you could tell in his body language that he didn't care about those questions. He wanted to get straight into the nitty-gritty, and he did. I asked him, what is going on with your contract, Mo? And he said nothing's on the table, and he's disappointed in the club. If I log on to my Twitter now, it's all asking me to come on the telly. You guys, plenty of other great podcasts, Liverpool, BBC Radio, just all been, because it's just such a mad story, really, for a player to actively call out their employer in the way that Mo has done. It's not something that we see every day. And, I don't really blame him for doing it, because we're nearly in December and there isn't a contract on the table, and I think he's got every right to criticise the club.
Yeah, 100%, Lewis. This is a player that's given us some of the best sporting memories of our lives that we witnessed and experienced as well. But I think he has had some stick amongst the Liverpool fan base. I must admit, it's been a minority. He's been even getting some stick from Everton fans who have been working on Monday Night Football tonight. But anyway, once a blue, maybe always a blue. But moving swiftly along, Mohamed Salah, was it a chess game? Was it a tactical move for him? Was he advised? Surely his agent has been in his ear just to say, you know what? This was a moment, just exactly like the moment that he had at Old Trafford. He took his shirt off. He didn't need to tell us that he's got a six-pack, Lewis, but it's good. It's very romantic when Mohamed Salah takes his shirt off. But what do you think? Was it a game on behalf of Mohamed Salah?
Look, Mo Salah is the best player in the Premier League, certainly is this season. And he's also perhaps the cleverest player in the Premier League, not just in terms of what he does on the pitch, but off the pitch. 100% he knew what he was doing with this. He knew the traction that it would get on social media and all over the news websites and whatever else. He absolutely decided, it was premeditated, that he was going to speak to us and get his words across. Like I just said in the previous answer, he knew he didn't want to talk about anything but his contract. That's why he came over to us. As a club want you to ask, or are you going to ask the questions that you want to ask? So he clearly had a point to prove. He had something to get across, and he got it off his chest. We only spoke. It is, yeah. We only spoke to him for about a minute or 2 minutes, but it felt like a really big moment in his Liverpool career. It sort of has sent shockwaves throughout English football. I've had messages from people who don't support Liverpool being like, what on earth is going on here? I've had messages from City fans, United fans, people that I'm mates with today being like, what is going on? And the truth of it is, I don't know. Like, why are we nearly in December? Maybe not signed it, but not even been offered one. I saw Richard Hughes at St Mary's. He was there. Looked very windswept, as did everyone, to be fair. It was a horrible day, weather-wise. But he must have been watching that game and thinking, this is our best player. I can't let him leave. 12 goals, 10 assists, I think it is. He is Liverpool's best player. As I said earlier, probably the best player in the Prem. Mo Salah's got his message across. What I would say is that there is two sides to every story. Well, three sides to every story. Liverpool, people that I speak to, good sources have been saying there has been positive talks between Mo and, not Mo, with Rami Abbas, his agent, and Liverpool. So we'll see on that. But Mo is clearly disappointed. He's got his message across, and it's gone as viral as he could have ever expected, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%. You mentioned Richard Hughes. There's a feeling amongst Liverpool fans, Lewis, that Richard Hughes needs to be more vocal in the media. I think it was good of him to come and share the stage when Arne Slot came in the summer, but we were told, and all the narrative coming out of the club was Arne Slot, well, his official title is a coach. He's not a manager, even though he has been really statesman-like since he's come through the door at Anfield. But don't you think that we need something? I don't expect ongoing a story from Liverpool minute by minute, but surely something, because there's a certain panic amongst Liverpool Football Club where arguably their three best players could be signing a pre-agreement in 6 weeks with another club.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's as far to say as Richard Hughes should be sat next to Arner every week,
Yeah.
but it would certainly take some of the heat from Arner slot every week if Richard maybe just did a little sit down or something, just to be like, this is what's going on, even if it was like an off the record thing. Um, I think there's so many questions in the fan base. Like every fan that messages me just wants to know what's going on with the contract, and I don't blame them at all. It's a massive issue. Of course, it is. I just think Liverpool have been very quiet on this, and I do sort of understand. They don't want to have it running out in public. They don't want to be doing a running commentary.
Yeah.
But I think that sporting director was. Now they run these clubs. They run English football, European football, whatever. I just think they need to be held to account a little bit more. And this is not a dig at Richard Hughes. I think he's inherited this situation. It's not his fault, and I wouldn't say he's doing a bad job at all. Really, I mean, obviously we know that there wasn't much going on in the summer, but I just think that sometimes maybe he or someone else that's not on a slot should maybe speak to the media or do something to just take a little bit of the heat out of the situation. Because as you say, 6 weeks from him being able to talk to other clubs, it's getting into a dangerous territory now that Liverpool need to do something, and I think they need to do it quick because they could really regret this if they don't.
Yeah, 100%. I think everyone talks about the financial constraints, the sustainable business model, Lewis, that FSG work under. But when you think about what, how do you replace the likes of Trent and Van Dijk and Salah? And I want to really concentrate on the likes of Virgil and Salah because of their age. But if you, for example, I'm just plucking out numbers, and generally speaking, around 40-50 million pound over 2 or 3 years, because that is going to be the total in the length of their contracts. Well, how do you replace Virgil van Dijk with 40 million pounds in today's transfer market? What's it going to get you? What's going to get you a right winger that gives you half of the input? And if you get half of the input of Mohamed Salah these days, you're a decent player. But we need more. We need more. We're sitting 8 points at the top of the league, and we need more ambition. We need a statement. Liverpool fans want Liverpool to go into the market and really press ahead with this title charge. But just going back to that point, this model, obviously we understand it and we have to live by it because these are the owners and they're very, very stubborn, but they have done a lot of good things for Liverpool. But when it really, really matters, Liverpool fans have really questioned the ambition of FSG. And that's what Liverpool fans want. They want them to really press ahead with it. And what I was gonna ask you about, the players. Did anything happen off the camera? You mentioned that only Salah talked to you for about a minute or so. Did he say anything off camera? How was his body language? You were only about 5 yards away from the bus, Lewis. Were there any players around? Other players around? I saw Virgil van Dijk come, and he had a he had a smirk because it kind of felt like he knew exactly what was going on here.
Yeah, Virgil strolled over, and you could tell in Virgil's face because he's quite easy to read, especially because we speak to Virgil every week. And I have this sort of running joke that I speak to Virgil more than most of my family members because I speak to him at least twice a week for about 10 minutes at a time. And he knew that something had gone down then. And as the captain, I think he was like, "Oh no, what have you done, Mo?" The bus itself has tinted windows, so I couldn't see who was in there, but I strongly suspect there was a few players sat on that bus looking at Mo thinking, "Oh, no, don't do that, Mo. Don't do it." Um, we actually spoke to Virgil for about 2 or 3 minutes after Mo, and I would strongly suspect that those quotes will never see the light of day because all me and the other journalists that were there were so sort of taken aback by what Mo said. Our questions to Virgil was just so pointless and boring that we didn't actually get any answers worthy of writing up.
Any
There
questions
was
regarding
obviously the
Virgil?
press, the security.
I was going to say, sorry to
Do you know
interject.
what?
Any contract questions to Virg?
Do you know what? I was actually really tempted to go for the jugular and try get a big double scoop on Virgil's contract as well. But I didn't have it in me. I was too taken aback by the Mo Salah news. But because I've done that, I'll make a promise that next time I speak to Virgil, I'll ask him about his contract because he's not been asked for a couple of weeks now.
I do know you've got to be on another Egyptian TV channel, I think it is, or a radio channel, wherever you are. You're a man in demand today, Lewis. But I won't keep you for long. But quickly, just some questions. You don't need to be long in your answers because I know you need to get away. Any updates regarding Trent's situation?
Presume you mean the contract. No
Yeah.
updates at the moment. I think we should hopefully know more within the next month or so. But I know I've been saying that for a few months, so probably sound like a broken record. But I think we just have to be patient on that one because it's a tricky one. Real Madrid really do want him, but we'll just have to see what happens, whether Trent wants to stay or not.
Okay. Ibu, we were told about Ibu around about a month ago that contract should get sealed, very, very soon, but it's gone quiet again on that front. Anything on Ibu's contract?
Yeah, that one will get done. It's just you got to be patient on that one, I think. Well, you got to be patient on all of them. I just Ibu wants a new deal. Liverpool want the new deal. That one will be done sooner rather than later. I just think it's just dotting a few I's and crossing the T's, really.
Brilliant. Sorted. And it's a big week on the pitch as well, Lewis. In case we forgot.
Yeah, massive. I mean, I did forget, to be fair, because it's been such a busy day. But big day tomorrow, press conference on a slot, then call whoever. I'd be interested to see what player Liverpool put up. It'd be really funny if they put up Mo Salah, wouldn't it? And then obviously we got City, the big City game on Sunday. Could be 11 points clear, could be cut down to 5. So it's massive, isn't it, really? But I think City look awful at the moment, especially midfield. I watched their game against Spurs, but it's Pep Guardiola at the end of the day. Might have look forward to being there and seeing you.
Look forward.
There.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I'll hopefully see you on Wednesday night. I'll see you on Sunday afternoon as well. But Lewis, thank you very much. I know you wanted to be on video, but we've been experiencing some internet problems as well, and we've had a bit of a lag. But as ever, you're so up for coming on the show and always supporting us as well. And I know you've been really, really busy, but thanks you very much for sacrificing your time at 10:30 in the evening. But you're welcome as ever, and it's been a pleasure on my behalf and the podcast behalf as well. But thank you very much again, and we shall see you very, very soon, mate.
Thank you, bro. See you soon, mate.
See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Right, let's not waste any time. Let's get the boys in. You guys have been waiting patiently. I hope your Wi-Fi is better than Lewis's.
My Wi-Fi is fine today, Asim. I don't need no introduction today.
Is your head fine?
Just about.
Sarib's in the background as well. It looks like he's got the same Wi-Fi as Lewis. But hopefully we see him soon. But there was a super chat, Gene, from City that needed to get through. I apologize. We were really running short of time, City. I wanted to get your super chat on earlier, but because of the time constraints that we had with Lewis, I thought I'd just bring it up later. So hope you don't mind. Big up for the super chat. FSG pathetic. Carrot and Dom King, etc., criticizing Mo Salah are the same. FSG nitpicking with age plus money like they did at the Red Sox. 3 contracts need sorting. Gene, your thoughts on Carragher and Dominic King? I think I saw your tweet in regards to Dominic King. I'm embarrassed calling him King because King is a respectful term, not when it comes to Dom.
Yeah, look, forget Dom right now. Honestly, I think I was a bit more pissed off with Carragher. Dom King, we know he talks shit at him, so we allow him. But Jamie Carragher, he come up with stuff like flipping, it's Salah that's riling up the fan base for riling up the fan base against the club. No, it's not Salah that's riling up no fan base. It's the owners that are riled up the fan base. Because we've been sat here, the summer came, we didn't really sign anybody. We were under the illusion that okay, fair play. We didn't sign anyone. We knew our team was good. The buy time, we're like, fair play. We've got 3 huge contracts that needed sorting out. We thought they're probably saving the money for then. Look, Mohamed Salah, Asim, I sat here yesterday, lauded about him, how great, and he's the greatest player for me that's played for Liverpool Football Club, especially the time I've watched football over the last 35 plus years. And over the last 35 years, we've seen legends come to play for this football club. We've seen greats that have played for this football club, footballers that we've adored. You're talking the likes of Luis Suarez, Felipe Coutinho, who we loved, players like Torres, who we were actually in love with the likes of Fernando Torres. They all left us. They all left us when it needed. Then you've got homegrown players like Michael Owen, who came through the ranks, Steve McManaman, who came through the ranks. They left us. Then you've got arguably the greatest player of our generation, Steven Gerrard, who, yes, stood with us when we were a shit team. But there was a time where he nearly left, when he nearly handed in a transfer request. But Mo Salah, it's easy to point the finger at Mo Salah. He's the same guy that stuck with us year upon year. Every year, put up the numbers. He could have gone. You talk about loyalty about certain footballers. Salah's the one that's been loyal. He stayed with us every single year. Money was thrown at him, not small money. We're talking money that would have made him the highest paid footballer in the world. He would have beaten the likes of Messi and Ronaldo in terms of his salary. Yet he stayed with us. He's proven time and time again how loyal he is to Liverpool. How much he loves the football club as him. He doesn't want to leave. We're a football club that say we're one of the biggest football clubs in the world. It was our time now to show how we show that we're one of the biggest football clubs in the world. Forget signing world-class players, Asim. We're struggling to retain the world-class players that we've got. And that is number one, ludicrous, and honestly, it's unforgivable. I am absolutely livid with what's happened today with Mo Salah, because I was under the illusion that Mo Salah is, there's going to be a contract on the table. We're sat here with 5 weeks to go and Mo Salah can start talking to other clubs. You're telling me there's no other club in Europe that is going to want Mo Salah? Every single big club in Europe will pay Mo Salah 400 plus to come and play for them. PSG, you name the club, they will pay it. Man City will pay him 400 grand a week next week to come and play for them. So yet we're here, sat here, dilly-dallying every single time when it concerns our contracts. And this flipping King guy comes along and makes it all about like this is Mo Salah's fault. Listen, mate. We ain't no mouthpieces for no one's football club, mate. If we've got something to say, we will say it. Mo Salah's had something to say because it's the time to say it. He's not one that comes out and speaks about all these type of things. But when the time is right, he will come out and say it. He wants to stay. Hughes, Edwards, FSG. Hughes is coming. What's Hughes done since he's been here? With respect, I'm asking you guys a question. What's he done? Signed Federico Chiesa. What else has he done? We're sat here with still three contracts to go. Fuck all's happened. Nothing's happening nothing's happening right now. People come up here and say, yeah, it's easy. He's 32 years old. The man is the best player in the world right now. Give him the contract and he will sign the contract. All this stuff, Mo Salah's playing games. Of course he is. He's 5 weeks to go. What do you want him to say? Yeah, of course he's gonna say, oh yeah, I might be leaving because 5 weeks to go, no contracts on the table. What do you expect him to say? Honestly, Asim, I'm just livid right now, and with these flipping King and Kada, man, I don't understand. FSG mouthpieces, mate. They don't wash with me, bro.
Sarib, I'm really disappointed in Jamie Carragher. He's got a reputation for not backing Mohamed Salah as it is, but he went just hours after, the video that came out in the morning, and he actually accused of the he accused Salah of trying to turn the fan base against the club. That is a massive, massive accusation to throw at your best player that you've had in the red shirt. But generally, your thoughts over the course of the day.
Look, first I want to address what happened today. I don't want to. We'll get into the Mo Salah comments in a minute, but I have to say I'm not one to come here and criticize pundits, criticize legends in a negative way. But Jamie Carragher is a fucking knob. He's an absolute fucking knob, and I will say it straight up. He's an absolute knob. That guy is supposed to be one of the legends of this football club. He's the record appearance maker in the Premier League for Liverpool Football Club, and he's coming on to Sky Sports live TV and saying, I don't like Mo Salah's comments. Like, that's wrong. What do you mean it's wrong? When your mate Steven Gerrard wanted to leave, when it wanted to go to Chelsea all those years ago, you sat there and shut your mouth and didn't say fuck all. But as soon as Mo Salah has come out and say, oh, the club hasn't spoken to me, all of a sudden he's making it about himself. What are you talking about? When this contract situation of Mohamed Salah should have been sorted out 18 fucking months ago. And now you're coming on Sky to say he's making about him when he's clearly said over and over and over again that I want to stay at this football club. I will stay at this football club. But like any human being, if you're good at your job, you want to be paid for the job that you do, and he's doing it at the best level possible. I'll ask all of you a question, even the comment section. If you were one of the best at your job in a company and another company offered you shitloads of money to go work for them, please tell me, what are you going to do? You're going to ask the company you're working for to give you the right wage for the work that you've done. But he has not been given that. So why is it a problem that he's coming out and saying, I want to be paid for what I have given this football club? That's completely valid. It's completely different if he's done nothing for this club. He's not scored goals. He's not won trophies. The guy's been our best player for near enough a decade. And you're going to blame him when his contract situation should have been sorted out fucking 18 months ago. Don't take the piss on live TV as well. And he's coming out and saying, oh, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. He's making it about him before Liverpool's biggest games of the season. That's the fucking right when to do it then. Because that's the only way he's going to get his point across before Man City and Real Madrid, two of the biggest teams in the world, the European champions and the Premier League champions, two of the trophies that we are going for this season. What a time to do it for Mo Salah. I commend you. Put pressure on these bastards that we have in charge. I don't care, because I've had enough of this nonsense. He should have been signed down to a contract 2 years ago. That extension that he signed in 2022, after that season, we should have given, I don't care what you say, we should have given him a contract extension even last summer. The fact that we've let it get to this point is an embarrassment. And he has said many, many times, I'm loyal to this football club. I want to stay. And I get why we all love Mo Salah. But we need to understand that we had the likes of Suarez, the likes of Torres. They went to other clubs and we were on a downward spiral. Even when we were on a downward spiral, Mo Salah could have left the club, but he stayed with us. And that is why I regard him as our best Premier League player, because every single player that we've had at this club that's been a top player, Suarez, Torres, Jeans mentioned all these players, Gerrard, at one point the head was turned by someone else. Mo Salah has never been turned by Real Madrid. Mo Salah has never been turned by Barcelona. Mo Salah has been never turned by PSG, Bayern Munich, you name it. He has not been turned by these football clubs because he has shown loyalty and he has shown respect to one of the biggest clubs in the world, regardless of our situation. Give him his contract and we can end this right now. All we need to do is pay him for the work he has done consistently year in, year out. Very, very simple. So simple. It's the easiest contract to sort out. But they say, oh, his age is. This guy can go play up to 35 at this level. Look at the way he keeps it. He takes his shirt off every other game. Look at him. I've never seen him. He's been in the same shape for 8 years. You give me a junk food next 2 weeks, so my belly's going to be out here. But look at Mo Salah. Look at him. One of the leaders of this club. And you want to piss around with his contract like this? It's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. You got bastards coming on Sky Sports saying, oh, but Mo Salah. Oh, he's making it about him. It's not about Mo Salah. Shut up, man.
Sister Raz with the super chat. I hope Salah never speaks to Carragher. I agree. Honestly. You know, what's that term? You back your own. But like I said, when Louis Steele is here, you never forget your roots, dear. Maybe the roots are blue rather than red. Where was Carragher, Sarib, when he needed to talk about David Coote? Maybe because he didn't want to talk about David Koo is because he didn't want to undermine the Sky Sports, undermine the Premier League, undermine the English League, because they don't want to feel like these guys are going across to Dubai and getting white envelopes and coming back with their wives with Dior bags and Harvey Nichols bags, going on a massive spending spree. This is what we needed. If you want to speak facts and you want to speak your mind and be consistent about it, but he took only hours to criticize the best player that has ever donned a red shirt. But where was he? I asked the question, where was he last week when the whole topic was about David Koo?
My famous term, innit? I say, "Tatty come out." That's what it was, mate. Straight up, mate. I'll say exactly how it is, mate. That's what it is. Shit come out. That's what it is. He's a flipping idiot, man. He's an idiot. Flipping Jamie Carragher, flipping Mo Salah is 10 times the legend Jamie Carragher is. So Carragher, with respect, in front of the king, you're a nobody, mate. Just remember that. In front of Mo Salah, you're a nobody. Mo Salah you're talking about you're a good footballer. We're talking about a great footballer. One of the greatest to have ever graced the Premier League and arguably the greatest to have played for our football club. So with respect, Carragher, stay in your lane, mate.
The chip is in the building. I wanted the chip to defend his uncle, to defend his allegiance with FSG tonight, but maybe we have to settle for the chip to be in the comments.
I want to add to this as well. Like, I do understand to an extent why Carragher would back the ownership. Obviously, he was at the club when the ownership was just put into place, and the position that Liverpool were in prior to FSG was a very, very dark place. I know you lot will know better than me what Gillette and were doing at the club before FSG came to this club. So I do understand why he's got this loyalty towards them. Obviously, we won the league, we won the Champions League, but this contract situation is on nobody but the ownership, and I don't understand how that is so ludicrous to say. What, you don't want to lose your I don't know, ambassador role, or you don't want to be ending into Anfield, you don't want Liverpool fans to hate you. But when you come out and criticize the best player for taking his eye off the bat when this contract should have been sorted out 18 months ago, I think it's absolutely embarrassing. And for somebody who's made over 700 appearances for this football club, the record Premier League appearance maker for this football club, he was vice captain for this football club. Numerous times he's captained this. He knows what it means to play for Liverpool Football Club. And for him to say that on live TV, Asim, I think it's an embarrassment. We all say stupid things. All of us, we've all said something stupid, whether that's behind cameras or on stream, yeah? But that is embarrassing to criticize Mo Salah in that way, who has basically carried Liverpool at times to titles, to cups, to win games. To do that on live TV, it is embarrassing. And I know people are not going to say it, but we all know why we criticize Mo Salah. We all know why. And I'm not going to say the reason, but if you know why he does it. You know, everybody knows why he does it. And they can't accept the fact that he is on top of the Premier League, their division. They can't accept it. They can't ever accept it. But the reality is, he is here and he's here to stay. You can shove it up your ass.
Gina, I asked the question to Lewis that, okay, let's try to go, so on in the perspective of FSG. Let's try to even think like them. I get this business model. I get this sustainable model. But at times when you really need to press the button, you have to press the button. This is the moment now. You have to press the button. There's so many comments in the chat tonight blaming Edwards, some blaming Klopp's. Ethan asks, do you not think Edwards is to blame? Who is to blame? That is a massive discussion point in itself. But, Gene, when you have this model, because the situation is what it is now, I think Liverpool, I mentioned it in my tweet today, the compromise or more of it has to come from Liverpool. Why? Because these are not just players, and we're concentrating on Verge and Salah because of their age. These are not players that have been performing world-class level over the last, since they came to Liverpool. But they're performing at a world-class level now, and they'll be performing at a world-class level in 2-3 years' time, because they are showing no signs of decline, Gene. And how do you go spend 40-50 million in trying to replace Van Dijk? How do you spend 40 million in trying to replace Mohamed Salah? So surely something has to give.
I remember in the summer we were having discussions, Asim, about selling Mo Salah for 100 million quid to Saudi and using that money to buy in replacements. Shove that money up your ass, because that money's worthless, mate. Because nobody is going to give you output like Mo Salah does. Virgil van Dijk, captain of the football club, still the best defender in the world. These two, you're talking two players still. Virgil's the best player in the best centre back in the world, and Salah's the best winger in the world, and arguably the best player in the world right now. And these two are what 32, 33. They're showing no signs of decline. They're just proving to FSG and everybody out there, that anybody that doubted them, that you know what, we are still the catalyst for this football club. We are still the best players for this football club. And you know what? FSG have gotten themselves in a right pickle, because they're now sat here with their captain, vice captain, and best player with 6 weeks to go until they can start talking to other clubs. Yeah, all three of them. Okay, Trent is a bit slightly different because Trent's injured right now, but Trent is irreplaceable in the sense of he's the best right back in the world. They're gonna have to pay the dough if you don't, there are gonna be pelters thrown at them. And right now, the players are piling it on, and they deserve everything. Why? Because these owners should have sorted out these contracts a long time ago. And that's the simple truth. They dilly-dallied, thinking, you know what, the time will come, they'll probably drop off a little bit. That's the time to go in and try and get them signed up on a contract for a couple of years. It'll be on a cheapo. We'll probably get him on the same sort of terms. Mate, now you're going to have to pay 300 plus with Trent, Salah, and well, Salah's 350 minimum. Van Dijk is going to be 300 plus, because they've proven themselves how good these footballers are. There's a notion that, you know what, they're waiting. They're saying, oh, they're going to let it go for another 4 weeks. So because these players are playing for contracts. These players are not playing for contracts. These players are winners. And they've proven that over the last 7 years, that every year they want to win. It's not about if they've got something to prove. What's Salah got to prove to Liverpool how good he's been? He's been brilliant for the last 7 years. Van Dijk, what's he got to prove? He's been unbelievable for 7 years. They're not playing for no contracts. They're playing because they want Liverpool to win. They're playing because they want to win. They're winners. They want to win the title. So Van Dijk's the captain. He wants to lift that trophy for Liverpool. And this notion that people come out with, oh, they're playing for their contracts, is a load of bullshit. Look, they've got themselves in a right pickle. Pay the money to these players, because we cannot be sat here in another couple of weeks' time and we're sat here still talking about the same thing, contract. Look, I've had an issue with the owners for a while over that, but you know what? We give them the benefit of the doubt. And in terms of fault, Edwards, Hughes, and FSG, all three are at fault.
Who employed
all
them,
three
then?
are at fault. Edwards, that's him. End of the day, people are going to point the finger at Michael Hughes. Michael Hughes, with respect, who appointed Michael Hughes? His mate did, innit? Edwards. FSG, Edwards did, innit? Edwards appointed Michael Hughes. Sorry, Hughes, whatever he's called now.
Richard
Michael
Hughes. Richard Hughes.
My flipping head's blown right now, mate. Yeah, them two. So they've been appointed by the same person. So you can't.
It's put Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards.
Yeah, they're all in it together for me right now, man.
They're in it together.
They're in it together. So end of the day, you don't point the finger.
Call them Michael Hughes if you want.
Yeah, they're all in it together. They flipping deserve the thrack they're gonna get. And look, Mo Salah is gonna keep knocking on that door. Come Wednesday, he's gonna put up a man of the match performance, go to the Cup and do that again, and say bring it on. And the fans are in love with Mo Salah. You've seen how mad everybody's gone.
I thought that celebration was symbolic yesterday.
It was,
He
man.
actually telling the fans, what more do you want? What more can I do? That's what he's telling us. That's what he was telling us.
You think fans are gone mad, but they'll give it another couple of games, and Mo Salah scores the win against Real and beats Man City on the weekend. Come to me on Monday how Twitter's going to be and how the fans are going to be absolutely going mental if there is no contract being offered to Mo Salah, because he is going to do this. We all know Mo Salah is going to produce on Wednesday and he's going to produce on Sunday against Man City. When he does them 2 games, then he's going to look at everybody and say he's going to do that to the people that doubted him, especially the likes of Carragher and all these players. He is going to do this. Mark my words. Come back to me on Sunday's show on Sunday when we do that show. I'm going to do that to Jamie Carragher.
Gene, where do you think the deadlock is? Because Salah is talking at face value. Liverpool haven't, I think, offered an official offer on the table. Is because I think they're miles apart. Because
I think not just
they know that if we are going to offer him, these are the terms that he wants. Obviously, there's a stalemate. There's a deadlock. But if Liverpool are not offering a contract, then it tells me that these guys are miles apart in their valuation.
Number one, the valuation will be. I think the years is going to be a big issue. That for me was always going to be the biggest problem. I think Liverpool are willing to pay him 350, 400 grand a week on a year.
Including bonuses. Salah is on £500,000 a week. at the
Yeah,
moment.
but you know, but I don't think his bonuses were as big as the contract last time. This time, I think the 351 was mainly that, you know, he was a guaranteed pay. And yes, the amount of goals and assists he gets, of course, he's going to get a bonus of that will take you up to around £500,000. But
Yeah.
still, Asim, Salah, he will probably want 3 years. Liverpool
Yeah.
might probably look in 1+1. I think that's where they're probably. But the biggest problem they've got is they're stuck right now because Virgil van Dijk's going to wait and say, okay, then what are you going to give Salah? Trent's not going to sign the contract until them two are done. They're all they're all right now. They've, like I said, this is the biggest issue. 3 players, your best players, all are gonna want, if not more than the other player. And the players, that's why they're laughing at each other because they're thinking, you know what, we're waiting for you to go in. The next player's thinking, no, we're waiting for you to get the contract offer because they're all waiting. And now they've waited. They're down to flipping 5 weeks, 6 weeks to go, and now something's got to give.
Sarib, what do you make of this stalemate? And is it the 3 camps? Are they snookering themselves? The club have basically made their statements intent clear that this is the line. We don't go above it. But I think Liverpool are having a stinker as a club and FSG as well, as a cooperation, because I think the circumstances are not feeding their narrative or their model, because these players, I know Trent is injured, but Van Dijk's playing unbelievably well, has been the best defender in the league. Salah's the best player in the world. So they are looking absolutely idiots. And now there's about 6 weeks away. We're 6 weeks away, Sarib. These guys can go and talk to different clubs. If we think that these guys or their representatives are not talking to other parties and getting a ballpark figure as if potentially we do join you guys in the summer, then what sort of numbers are we looking at? Because every representative is looking after or protecting their player. And why not? Why not? When you're 28 or 30, the club wants to get rid of you. And when you're 21, they want to give you a 5-year contract. It works both ways. There is loyalty, and Mohamed Salah and Trent and especially Virgil van Dijk have shown that, Sarib. But who is to blame, Sarib? Who do you blame? I have to put Jurgen Klopp's name in there as well. Do you think he needs to take a bit of share of the blame as well? Because I think when the time is right to talk to players is around 2 years to 18 months at the very, very max. You don't let it run below 18 months. But it came of a sudden surprise to everyone that he's leaving. So when he made that announcement, Sarib, the players weren't going to sign, were they? Because they were more interested in who your manager is going to be. And then suddenly they're in their last 12 months contract. And we had Shamatka, who basically came for 3 months. He was checking Klopp's emails for 3 months. Let's be honest. McAllister's deal was done by Ward. He did he bought out Szoboszlai's release clause, and Gravenberch, Bayern Munich were really, really interested in doing the deal. But to be fair to him, he did well. To be fair to him, but nobody looked at the contracts, Sarib. And then we were told, okay, now Slot's going to come, his team's going to come, they're going to settle in. All of a sudden, we're in December, not one contract has been offered, and now the players have got the club by the balls.
No, to be fair, Asim, I will say this. Yeah, I think the club sensed vulnerability about Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent. They know that they can take the piss with this contract situation because all 3 of them, well, from what we hear, Van Dijk and Salah guaranteed want to stay at this football club. So I think they have understood that Van Dijk and Salah are they've shown loyalty to us over the last 8-9 years. We can take the piss out of them. We can let this drag on as much as we want, and it'll get to the point where, you know, they'll work on our terms because they're so desperate to stay at this club. They will sign the contract that we offer them because they want to stay at this club and they don't want to go anywhere else. So we can take the piss and they will agree on our terms. But that's not how it works, because they're now in a position where Salah and Van Dijk are at this level and FSG and Co are operating at this level where they think it's on this level. It's not the case at all, mate. They're the ones in control. Salah and Van Dijk and Trent, they're the ones in control. But FSG, for some reason, and Edwards and Co, they think they're in control. That's why they're not worried. That's why they've got their feet up. They're thinking, you know what? Let's put our feet up and let's not worry about them too, because ultimately, at the end, we know they want to stay. They were going to sign on our terms. But no, that's not how it works, mate. Football changes very, very quickly. One day you want to be somewhere, the next day you want to be somewhere else. Look at Philippe Coutinho, for example. He signed a contract extension in February of 2017. And by the summer, you wanted to go. So I say everyone, it goes very, very, very quickly. and it's 16, sorry, not 17, 16. It goes very, very, very quickly. And that's why I don't like to go very, very fast. But I look at it like this. You say Jurgen Klopp is to blame, Asim, but
I don't think he takes all the
could be,
blame.
could
But
be. But
I think the circumstance how he left, because he said, look, it came all of a sudden, and maybe he wanted, and to be fair to him, he showed a lot of loyalty, and I'm giving him a lot of credit to sticking around, because he could easily gone after that quadruple season, because he felt that he didn't have the energy, but he had a responsibility on the team to leave it in a good state, and that's what he did. When you announce that you're leaving the next season in the summer, all of a sudden contract talks are halted, because players and representatives and their camps are interested as to who the new man is going to be, and rightly so, to be fair to him. So I think we lost time because Jurgen Klopp all of a sudden left.
Some people say, I think you made a point as well, Asim. I personally wouldn't blame Jurgen Klopp, because if you look at it, if he had announced that he was leaving Liverpool at the end of the season, at the start of the season, rather than January or February when he announced it, I think we would have been in a much better position, because people say, why didn't you offer Salah a contract then? But in hindsight, Salah, Van Dijk's, Trent's contract expires next summer, and Salah had already just signed a contract extension the year prior. So I don't think that was a priority at the time in the summer of 2023. Whereas you look in a year on now, he's now 1 year on this deal. Now, I get that. I get the whole notion as to why they'd want to not sign a contract based on they want to know who the next coach is, etc., etc., etc. But I think this process would have been a lot easier if Jurgen Klopp had announced he was leaving at the start of the season rather than the middle. But I don't want to put any blame on him, because the contract situation is not on him whatsoever, because Salah was key. Salah was key. Klopp was key for Mo Salah to sign his contract in the summer of 2022. So I can't put the blame on Jurgen Klopp, because he got Salah to sign contract extensions. He's got Van Dijk to sign contract extensions. Same with Trent. So I don't want to put that on him. Who it is on now are the people who are in power now, which is Edwards, Hughes, and FSG. And they've employed Hughes and Edwards, etc., 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 etc. So we have to point the finger at them, not Arne Slot, because he doesn't deal with that. Not Billy Hogan, CEO, whoever he is for FSG. I don't know what the fuck he is. There's so many people in charge now. It's a joke. Fucking Gordon. So we've got now. But the point is, when Edwards and Hughes were employed, we were dancing, because they've done so well for this club in the past. But the reality of it is now they have done a very, very shit job. All of them as a collective. That's where we have to point the fingers. It's not down to Jurgen Klopp. It's down to the people who pay the money to the players. And that is the ownership. They're the ones with the money. They're the ones that pay the wages. They're the ones we need to point the fingers at. Nobody else. I do get what you're saying, though. Maybe Klopp, maybe the timing of Jurgen Klopp's departure didn't make sense, but it can't be on him, because Klopp was key to keep those players at the club. So it can't be on Jurgen Klopp. It's on the club. They've come out and said they want to stay. It's a very, very simple thing to do. Give them what they want. They will stay. No surprise. They're three of the best players in the world in their position. Of course, they're going to ask for a high demand in wage, because they're wanted in the world. When something is wanted by so many people, Asim, normally speaking, the price of that thing rises. If you got a nice car that everyone wants, you're not going to, sell it for, I don't know, 10K. You're going to sell it for 30, 40, wherever it is, because more people want it. It's the same thing with these. Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent are assets that people want. So you got to pay them the wages to keep them in the position they're in now. It's very, very simple. I know it's easier said than done, but it seems very easy to do to me, because they've come out and said they're going to stay. They want to stay.
Okay, Gene, emotion to aside, do you still think they get done?
You're on mute.
I've always said Van Dijk will get done. I've always said Trent will leave. I just think at this stage, the ownership and Salah, I think an agreement might be reached, because there's just too much pressure that's been put on from Salah and the fan base, that they're gonna have to find a way to sort it out, and I think they will find a way. Deep down, I don't think they probably really, really wanted to go give him the money that he wants. They probably did want him to stay, but probably didn't want to give him the money that he wants. But they're going to be backed into a corner, because Mohamed Salah's performing at world, the best player in the world level. So you're going to have to pull out the door, and they're going to have, because you just imagine, okay, one you can live with, two, and it's your teammate. Two, if two of the three leave, then you've had it, man. Then you really have had it for a good few years, and especially if you let somebody like Salah go, because that's irreplaceable. Them
Which I
goals,
mean-
them assists are irreplaceable, Asim.
There's been a few comments, and I think Sarib touched on it as well. These guys, it feels like, and it's proven because we're going by proven track record. These guys don't give a shit, Gene, if they
Well,
go.
they're gonna have to give, bro. This is
Because what they'll
Asim,
do, they'll spend enough to get top 4.
but that doesn't matter, mate. It's when somebody's scoring 60, if somebody's output is 67% of your output, doesn't matter who you sign. You don't get that output. 70% of your goals and assists have come from one player. Come on, man. That's ridiculous level. That output is ridiculous level output. And you simply do not take that player out your team. There's no way, there's no reason for you to take that player out your team. Because that's taking you from top. Okay, they're gonna go and spend the money, you let him go, and what? They're not gonna give him 350 grand a week, and what? 56 million, whatever it is, over the 55, 60 million pounds over the next few years. Who else is gonna give you the output? You're gonna have to spend, whoever you're gonna bring in is 70, 80 million pound to replace Salah. Then you have that person's wages on top. Salah is a global icon. He attracts, and in terms of marketing, just because Salah plays for Liverpool, the amount of money that he brings Liverpool football is crazy.
But do you think that's another stumbling block, Gene? Image rights.
No, because I think Salah will always hold his image rights. Salah's not stupid.
Maybe
Asim, man.
the club says,
Salah
okay,
will
we'll give
never
you,
give it. Asim, come on.
what
Salah's
if they're saying
no
we'll
chance.
give you what if they're saying we'll give you an an extra year, but give us a share of your image rights.
Salah deny image rights in Naki. Are you having a laugh? Salah, man, he's too big. He's behind Messi and Ronaldo. He's on a different level. He's on a different level, and we've seen that over the years. He is, man. He's on a different level, especially image rights. He's up there,
Gene,
man.
I'm going to interject. I'm going to interject.
Oh, here we go.
I don't normally call out comments, but Michael Richardson has made a few comments. He's called us clowns in his first one.
Go on,
wow.
Mike.
Go
Respect
on,
you, Mike.
clowns.
Go on,
Mike,
lad.
I'm going to give you the link. Stop being a keyboard warrior. If you think you can really give the real Liverpool perspective, message me on Twitter right now. My DMs are open, always open. I'll send you the link. Come on here and we'll talk Liverpool. Yes or no?
I'll say my favorite word. Go on. I want to make for the yes or no. Go on,
yes
Mike.
Or no?
Bring it on.
Mike, you lad.
Or you're gonna make me say my favorite word again. Dirty come out. That means your shit's come out.
If you're a man, come on stage and talk and stop being a keyboard warrior. Anyway, carry on.
There you go.
But do you think?
Also,
I want to ask you a question. Do you think there's a sense amongst the ownership that we were fine when Suarez left, the club was okay when Torres left, it's okay if Mo Salah leaves? It was.
He doesn't want the mic. He doesn't want the mic. Anyway, Mike's gone. Sorry, Sarib.
No, I was saying, do you think there's a sense amongst the ownership that this club was fine when Torres left, this club was fine when Suarez left, this club was okay when Steven Gerrard left?
It wasn't all right. It wasn't all right. It never won fuck all, mate.
No, but what I'm saying
when Suarez left, Torres left. It won something when Mo Salah was there, mate. It won the Champions League, and Salah's the one that gave you number 19. So what the fuck's he on about?
Let me finish. What I'm saying is they eventually found someone to stabilize the club again. They found a player that could do that. It might have taken a bit of time, but do you think there's a sense of that? Or no, if Suarez left, it took us a bit of years, but we ended up okay. We won the Champions League. Torres left. We won the Champions League in 2005. We got Torres in. Torres then left the club. We were in a bit of a shit show, but we got Suarez in. Do you think there's a sense of Salah will leave? Don't worry about it. The club will move on, which is very, very fair, because I think no player is bigger than the club.
Yeah, of course, I get that. Yeah, that's fair, Sarib. Look, players come and go.
Well, Sarib, this situation is unprecedented.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm just asking the question. That's it. I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, it's a good point.
Players come and go. Look, Sarib, from my side, I've seen Torres, these guys, I love them all. But players come and go. I have no issue with that. My issue is, why would you let the guy that's, with respect, if it wasn't for Salah, we would not be challenging for this league title. He's the difference. He's literally the difference. You look at last season. This was when he was going through, when he came back from injury and he wasn't playing that well. He was missing chances. He didn't look fit. Why I was having more of a go at the other players was for one reason. Salah's bailed these players out on so many occasions. When it's his time to be bailed out, the likes of Darwin, Diaz, and Gakpo didn't bail him out. They struggled. And this season, when Gakpo's got 1, Nunes has got 2. Have you seen me go for the strikers? No, because Salah's performing. Salah's bringing in the numbers, and we're winning games. The minute Salah has a slight blip, I expect the other strikers to flip and carry the void then, and bring the goals in. This was the difference with Sadio Mane. When Salah was not on song, Sadio Mane would always step up. Firmino would step up. The others would always step up because they would always help him out. Salah sometimes, and it's showing now, isn't it? 70% of your outputs come from my man. This is the proof. This is the biggest thing that I have. You simply cannot let him leave. It's as simple as that. Salah has to be signed because he is the difference between you winning a league. Then the other thing is you just about scrape top 4.
And I think what makes it different as well, Asim and Gene in the comments, I think what makes it very, very different is that he's never asked to leave the club. He's never said I'm unhappy at the club. Where Suarez and Torres, they've flirted
Loyalty,
with Arsenal,
man.
flirted
Loyalty,
with
man.
Madrid, flirted with Chelsea, and then Gerrard flirting with Chelsea, he's flirting with Jose Mourinho. Salah's never done that. He's never caused a problem.
He's loyalty, man.
His family are so settled in Liverpool as well.
I think that's one thing that's been different with Mo Salah, rather than the other players that we've had over the last couple of years. And I think that's why a lot of fans, including myself, Gene, yourself, and I speak for a lot of Liverpool fans, hold him in a much bigger light now. I think Suarez was a better player than Salah. I think that your eyes can tell you that. And Suarez's legacy in football is massive, but his legacy at this club, his Premier League legacy, Salah's miles ahead of Suarez because he showed loyalty, showed consistency, and was here for a longer period of time. And I don't think you can never take that away from Mo Salah.
Okay. Gene, anything else? There was a super chat as well, I think, that came through.
Apparently there's an indie bomber. I want to read what that is.
Indie bomber. Okay, you look for the indie bomber whilst I look at the Gad says this contract is all on Michael Edwards, Gene. And there's another one, Sister Raz again. Why do cowardly reporters ask our 3 best players and about contracts when they should be asking Hughes and Edwards? The disrespect for more is offensive. FSG. This is exactly what we've been discussing. Exactly that. Thank you very much for the super chat. There was okay. Tell me, what did Indy tweet?
I'm trying to find it.
Big shout out. Unks is in the building. Unks wants a calling show. We'll do a calling show.
Exclusive from Indy Carlio. FSG owner W. Henry to hold meeting with Mohamed Salah within the next 24 hours. We understand deal is close to agreement.
Yeah. Asim, look at that.
Salah 16 GA in the Premier League. Diaz, Nunes, Gakpo, and Jota 16 GA in the Premier League this season. Salah is irreplaceable.
That is also a big concern for me as well, that without him, we are shite. It's very, very simple. I saw a stat, Gene, without the goals from Mo Salah and assists from Mo Salah, Chelsea will be top of the league and Liverpool will be 13th in the table. 13th.
Wow. Okay, look, with respect, there would be another player. There would be another player, though, that would probably get you 4 or 5. Okay, let's not stay. He'll get you 10, 12, but he'll probably get you 4 or 5. So let's not be 13th. We'll be 4th or 5th. That's what I'm trying. That's been my issue. That's exactly why I say. This is the difference. Is you go and win a title, you might win a title with Salah. You might win a Champions League with him. Without him, not happening, mate.
I think 13th in the league without Salah's goal, without Salah's output speaks volumes as to what the other players around him are doing. I think Gakpo and Diaz have improved this season massively, but I think they need to step up their game, especially if Mo Salah has a dip, which will come because every player gets that. Messi, Ronaldo, they've all had their dips during the season. It will happen to Salah, and we've seen it happen to Salah. So I think it's important now the other players understand that and showcase. And I think that was the reason why eventually we didn't win the title, because when it came to crunch time for the likes of Diaz, Gakpo, and Nunez, they hit barn doors. And when you hit barn doors, unfortunately, you're not going to win the big prizes.
Sarib, probably the most difficult question that we'll ever face.
It's not difficult at all. It's not difficult. Okay. It's very, very simple.
You can only offer 2 contracts. Who are you picking out of the 3?
It's very, very simple. Mohamed Salah, because I think the level from the first position, I think the level from Salah to who's behind him is so big. You can say Yamal, you can say Saka. I think that gap is too big. And Virgil van Dijk, I think the gap between Virgil van Dijk and the second or third best centre back is quite massive at the moment as well, especially this season. And it's very, very clear they are the best two in their position. And I think a lot of people can make an argument for Trent to not be the best in his position, especially this season. I think that's an argument. I think a lot of fans might say, I don't know. I'm not in agreement. A lot of fans might say, oh, Hakimi is better than Trent Alexander-Arnold or Kyle Walker. Now, I'm not. I don't agree with that. But I think you can make a case for that based on what they've done in the last couple of years. But in the last couple of years, Salah and Virgil van Dijk have been the best players in their position. Give them the prizes. I think in this system as well, the system we play now, Asim, Trent is very replaceable, especially because we don't play as inverted as we were doing under Klopp. I think you can replace Trent.
Not very replaceable, but if you had to choose, it'd probably be. Look, I don't want to disrespect Trent, man.
I'm not disrespecting
I just, he's not very replaceable. But if I are the two, I would obviously keep Van Dijk and Salah. I've been saying that from day one. Trent, unbelievable footballer. I love him to bits, but these two right now, you cannot replace. They're irreplaceable. And to an extent, the way we're playing, and I agree with Sarib, there are other right backs that we could get that would, enhance us. Maybe not enhance us to Trent's level, but we'll still be okay. Whereas you'd replace Van Dijk and Salah, it's straight away downhill. There's no, I just can't see it going uphill if you had to replace one of them two.
We saw Asim. We saw when we didn't have Virgil van Dijk in the 2021 season. I know we were top of the league at one point. We all saw what happened, and Trent was available. Salah was also available. I still stand by the statement to this day that I think Virgil van Dijk is Liverpool's most important player, because when he's off it, the whole team is off it. We saw it in the 22-23 season when Virgil van Dijk was off it that season. We finished 5th in the league. When Virgil van Dijk wasn't available in the 2021 season, we didn't win the league. We finished 3rd in the league. So I think Salah is our best player, but our most important player is Virgil van Dijk. And I can
accept that. You can say that from your side. I have no issues with you saying that. I think it's Salah, but I can understand why you say Van Dijk.
That's why I have those two sorted, because I think in this system, as you're tactical, I think in this system, I think you can find players that can do the role Trent's doing, because it's not as inverted, it's not as midfield based as what he was doing under Jurgen Klopp. He's playing more of a conventional right back generally. Maybe when we're losing games, we saw against Brighton, he went into the midfield. But generally speaking, he has played very, very conventional this season. And we had this conversation. I remember what I said to you. Are we playing this way to prepare for life after Trent? And we had this conversation, remember? And he said that's a very, very good question. I think that's something we need to pay a bit more attention to as the coming months come. That's why I pick Van Dijk and Salah.
What about you, Asim?
I'd agree with you guys.
That's all right.
I'd agree. And I agree with the system comment that Trent's influence is less in this system. Trent's
I agree.
Are getting on the ball, deeper areas, central areas. Even we saw in, especially against teams that we are expected to have a lot of the ball. I think it's all about the Van Dijk to Gravenberch central progression. But with the right back, inverted, but it's more of a in the right half space rather than being part of the two.
Yeah.
Trent comes as the third. And then even when we're really in control, you saw yesterday, Conor Bradley was top of the box. He was in a right half space in a 10 position.
Yeah.
And then when we work the ball with Salah, that dynamic, and then it's the cutback. That's what Arne Slot wants from the right back. But I do agree that what are you laughing about first time? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, look, we had to agree today. These two news, they didn't agree with me today. They were gonna get it, so they agreed with me today.
Would you take a fee for Trent in January? That's the question. But I don't think Trent initiates that move. Why would you? Why would you? Sort of prevent yourself getting 30, 40, 50 million signing on fees spread over the term of your contract at Real Madrid. It's not happening. Even Liverpool might want it to happen because they've got the final answer from Trent, but Trent doesn't want that move. Real Madrid don't want that move. They just don't come in. So Frimpong, Gad asks the question, Asim, do you think Frimpong can fit into our system? Our Bradley will be the replacement, or Bradley will be the replacement if Trent eventually decides to leave. I think Frimpong is more of a wing back than a full back.
He's not a good defender, personally, for me.
So I don't think he suits wing back systems. I don't think we need a wing back. I think we need a.
He would do well under Amorim at United.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Not for Liverpool.
Okay. Are we going tomorrow for a preview?
Yeah.
Shall we leave it the Real Madrid game? Shall we leave matters on the pitch till tomorrow? Because you never know, we might wake up to another article tomorrow. The Virgil contract. Lewis did mention they did talk to Virgil for about 2 minutes.
Asim, you said that you posted a picture saying this picture worries me, but something about Van Dijk in that picture, just he was smiling, he was cheerful. I think his contract might be done.
I think Virgil van Dijk, if anything gets done and gets done first,
to be first. I think so. Yeah,
Van Dijk.
I think his contract might be signed.
I think that's the measure of the man as well, Sarib, that he's going to lead by example. That saying, okay, look, this is a project. I want to stay. I'm committing myself to the club, and I'm the captain of this football club, and I'm leading by example. I think that's the measure of the man. But I think we need to respect Mohamed Salah as well and give him what he deserves. People who are saying this, we're brandishing this, this term, give him what he wants, is too generic. Why are you saying this? It's all about going forward. Okay, let's go forward then. You're telling me that laptop or whatever software these guys are using in Liverpool or wherever they are, wherever this laptop is on. But is it telling you that Van Dijk, or is it giving you any signs that Salah is diminishing in terms of performance levels?
You know what
I'm telling you now, in 2059, Gene could be going for a hair transplant in Turkey, but Salah will still be top goal scorer in 2089 in the Premier League. I'm telling you now, this guy is the seasoned professional. I turn my phone on, I go on Instagram. He's in the gym at 12 o'clock at night. I go to sleep, I go on Instagram again. Salah's in the gym. He welcomes everyone in the coffee place in the AXA building. That's his building. That's his space. He goes, he does his little session, and he goes for a coffee, and players are coming in. But he's already done a couple of hours or an hour or so at the gym. This is the sort of level of professionalism that he has. He yearns success because he knows the level and what the work rate that needs to be done to succeed at this level. And he just I'm sorry, but just one point. That interview that he did with Robertson and Alisson, honestly, I absolutely loved it. One, you just saw these are legends of the club, Robertson and Alisson, and you could actually grasp how much sort of aura, Salah oozed off through a little screen or wherever we're watching this interview, and also the sort of level of respect these legends had for Mohamed Salah. Like Robertson was saying, I want to do it for Salah because they know how much of a winning mentality he has. But one thing I took away from that, he said, fuck this being underdogs. Why should we portray ourselves as underdogs? I look around in this changing room, I see one of the best players in the world in that position. And he said, look, we should be going for the title. Why shouldn't we? Forget this transition period. And that is the mentality these owners need to transpire in the transfer market and the contract negotiation table and say, okay, guys, you are winners. You are mentality monsters. And we're going to back you because this Mohamed Salah is our leader and we're all in. And this is what we need to do. We need to back him, make a statement, and win some titles.
I wanted to say something else. I think you said that's a point you made as well, that what you said it's generalized when people say give Mohamed Salah what he wants, and some fans want us to move forward. So you want us to move forward without our best player. Please tell me how that makes any sense.
No, they sorry, they think we're saying give Mohamed 700 grand a week.
Oh, I know.
We're not saying give Mohamed Salah 700 grand a week. Give him what he's due, what his right is. He deserves 350, 400 grand a week. He deserves to be on what he was on previously, and he deserves minimum 2 years. That is the bare minimum. 2 + 1 is probably what I think they will probably agree on. I can't see Salah not wanting 3. Yeah, Salah will definitely want 3, and Liverpool, being Liverpool, will probably just give him 1, or we'll give you 1 year and we'll take it how it goes. But I think 2 + 1 is probably what will probably get agreed. But let's have to wait and see what happens over the next couple of weeks, man.
Oh, okay. Sarib, anything you want to share? Anything you want to express before we go? No.
So I was just getting rid of a spider. Sorry, mate. I think it might have been.
Should we leave it there?
Call it a night, man. I need bed tonight, man. So fucking hell,
We need bed. It's been a long day. So thank you very much for the first part of the show. Thank you very much for all your engaging comments. Let's see where it takes us. I'm sure this is not the first and the last time we talk about contracts, but we've got a big week. We've got a certain Real Madrid turning up at Anfield, a certain Pep Guardiola who we might hit for 6, not in a 6-0 scoreline, but 6 in a row. The amount of games that they've lost in recent times. But thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you very, very soon. Stay tuned for more on BNR. Ta-ra for now. Bye-bye.